Hey everyone, ready for some AI talk? Because things are getting seriously interesting out there. We're diving deep into DeepSeek R1, this brand new AI model from China that's got the whole tech world buzzing, like really buzzing.
Right.
And yeah, big tech, well, let's just say they're not exactly thrilled. DeepSeek R1 is shaking things up, and it's doing it with some crazy efficiency and a price tag that's got everyone raising their eyebrows. So to help us break down all the drama and understand what DeepSeek really means for the future of AI, we've got an expert joining us.
Thanks for having me. Excited to unpack this.
Okay, so first things first. When news of DeepSeek R1 hit the streets, the market, well, it kind of freaked out. The NASDAQ had its worst day in years. NVIDIA's stock, down almost 17%. Broadcom, not far behind. And even the giants Microsoft and Alphabet took a hit, dropping over 2% and 4% respectively. It's like the entire market went, oh no, what have we done? So what's with the panic? What is it about DeepSeek R1 that has everyone on edge?
Well, it's a real threat, not just hype. The markets are reacting to the fact that DeepSeek R1 is a serious contender and could really disrupt the established AI players.
I mean, they built this thing despite the U.S. restrictions on high-end AI chips going to China. That's kind of impressive in itself, right?
Absolutely. They had to get creative, focusing on efficiency, figuring out how to make less advanced hardware work really, really well.
So they basically turned lemons into lemonade.
Mm.
And I'm hearing they did it all for just $6 million. That's pocket change compared to what companies like OpenAI are shelling out.
Yeah, it's a tiny fraction of the cost, and that's not even the craziest part. They went and made DeepSeek R1 open source. Anyone can use it, modify it, even distribute it totally free.
Whoa, that's huge. Like throwing open the doors to the AI party and saying, come on in, everyone. I mean, smaller companies, independent researchers, anyone who couldn't play in the AI space before, suddenly they're in the game.
Right. It totally changed the landscape, democratize AI in a way we haven't seen.
Okay, so it's cheap, it's accessible, but can it hang with the big dogs? I mean, how does it actually perform?
That's the thing. It's not just affordable. It's actually really good. In fact, it's matching, sometimes even beating, the performance of models built by giants like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Meta.
Seriously.
Yeah.
This David is outsmarting the Goliaths. You've got to give me some proof.
We'll take the Monty Hall problem, for instance, that classic probability puzzle.
Oh, yeah, the one with the doors and goats. I always get tricked by that one.
Right. So DeepSeek R1 not only solved the original problem, but it also cracked a modified version, a tougher one that stumped some other leading AIs.
Wait, they made the Monty Hall problem even harder. How?
They tweaked it so Monty, the host, reveals the player's first chosen door, with the goat behind it, before offering the chance to switch. It's a subtle change, but throws the odds off. DeepSeek R1 figured out that in this scenario, staying or switching has the same chances of winning.
That's some next-level logic. It's not just crunching numbers. It's understanding nuance and making smart decisions. Okay, colored me impressed. But there's more, right? You mentioned another problem it tackled.
The trolley problem, remember that one? It's a thought experiment about ethics.
Oh, yeah, that one kept me up at night in college. The choice between saving one person or 5 people. So much to debate there.
So in this modified version, the twist was the 5 people on the track were already dead. DeepSeek R1 recognized the usual ethical dilemma didn't apply here, so it didn't intervene, because pulling the lever wouldn't save anyone.
Wow, that's deep. Literally.
Yeah.
It's understanding context, recognizing nuances, and applying ethical principles. This is getting serious.
Even Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO, had to admit DeepSeek did something impressive. Of course, he tried to downplay it a bit, said true innovation is about creating something new, not just copying. But you can bet the big AI players are feeling the heat. This is a wake-up call.
Like some newcomer just strolled into the Olympics and started shattering records. Right.
Yeah.
But it's bigger than just one AI model, isn't it? This feels like part of a bigger shift.
Exactly. DeepSeek R1 points to a different approach, a strategic approach that China is taking towards AI development. It's not just about individual companies, it's about a whole ecosystem.
It's like they're building a whole AI superhighway, connecting everyone and everything. We'll delve into that after the break, folks. Stick with us as we continue to unveil the unseen layers of DeepSeek R1's impact.
So yeah, DeepSeek R1 is shaking things up with its efficiency and the whole open source thing. But let's take a step back for a second and think about the bigger picture.
Yeah, like what's going on behind the scenes? What's driving this?
China's approach to AI, it's just different. It's not the same game that the West is playing.
Right, it's not the Silicon Valley move fast and break things kind of vibe. They're playing the long game, right? More coordinated.
Totally. China sees AI as like super strategic. It's key for their economic growth and global influence. And they're not messing around. They're using the power of the government to make it happen.
Okay, so it's like a top-down approach. The government sets the goals, pours in resources, and everyone falls in line. But doesn't that stifle innovation?
Mm.
Like too many cooks in the kitchen?
It's a valid concern for sure. Some people argue that this centralized approach could lead to less diversity, less creativity in the AI scene.
Right, like maybe they'll miss out on some breakthroughs because they're so focused on specific goals.
Exactly. But China's supporters say, look at the progress, look how fast they're catching up. It's hard to argue with that.
It's almost like two totally different experiments running side by side. The U.S., with its individual initiative, the free market, and then China, with this centralized collaborative model.
Yeah.
Who's going to win?
Yeah, it's fascinating to watch both approaches have their pluses and minuses, right?
Totally.
The U.S. system is amazing at fostering innovation, getting the best talent, but it can be a bit messy.
Yeah, like everyone's doing their own thing. Could be some wasted effort there.
Right. And then China. They're like this giant ship, maybe slower to turn, but packing serious firepower.
That's a perfect analogy. Okay, so we've got this AI arms race happening between the superpowers, each with their own style. Where does DeepSeek R1 fit in all of this? Is it just a pawn in this big geopolitical game?
It's more than a pawn. It's a sign, a signal that China is serious about AI, about competing, and they're not afraid to shake things up.
Like they're saying, hey, we're not just playing catch-up anymore, we're changing the rules.
The open source thing, that's a bold move. It challenges the whole traditional way of doing software.
Yeah, it's disruptive for sure. But what does it mean for everyday people, like me and you? How is this AI revolution going to change our lives?
That's the big question, isn't it? I mean, AI is already kind of woven into our lives, but with models like DeepSeek R1 becoming more accessible, things could change really fast.
Okay, let's talk about that. I'm not just talking about better music recommendations or chat bots answering my questions. What are some real, tangible ways AI could change the game for everyday people?
Imagine you need to learn something new, right? You could have an AI tutor, personalized just for you. It adapts to how you learn, helps you master any skill, any language.
That would be amazing. I always wanted to learn to play guitar. Maybe AI could finally make that happen.
Exactly. Or think about healthcare. AI assistants that analyze your symptoms, maybe even give you a preliminary diagnosis. Healthcare could become way more accessible and affordable.
Wow, that's a game changer. But let's be real, there are downsides, right? Job displacement, that's got to be a concern.
Of course. AI can automate tasks that humans used to do. It's a fact. We could see job losses in certain areas like manufacturing, transportation, customer service.
It's like the robots are coming for our jobs.
Mm.
But it feels different this time, more intense somehow.
It's about adapting. We have to invest in education, in training, focus on the skills that AI can't replace.
So we can't just fight it. We have to evolve with it. Figure out how humans and AI can work together.
Exactly. AI is a tool, right? Like any tool, it depends on how we use it. It's up to us to make sure it benefits everyone.
So as we wrap up our look at DeepSeek R1 and this AI revolution, I want to leave you all with a few things to think about. How do you want to see AI used in your life? What excites you? What scares you? And what role do you want to play in all of this? It's not just about watching it happen. It's about shaping the future.
The future of AI isn't set in stone. We're writing it right now, all of us. So let's make it a good one.
Thanks for joining us. This AI conversation is far from over, so keep those questions coming, and we'll keep exploring this incredible field. Okay, so we've covered the big picture stuff, like, the whole global AI race, the economic side of things, the good and the bad that could come from all this. But let's make this real. How could AI actually change your life?
That's what it all comes down to, right? AI isn't just some futuristic fantasy anymore. It's already here. It's in our everyday lives.
Yeah, it's like AI is quietly working in the background, making things run smoother, like my streaming service, knowing what I want to listen to, or my email filtering out all that spam.
Exactly. But DeepSeek R1 and this whole open source thing, that's a whole different level of access. Anyone can use it.
So what's that mean for regular people?
Imagine anyone, no matter how tech savvy they are, no matter how much money they have, can use cutting-edge AI.
Okay, I'm listening. Give me some examples. Like, for me, for the people listening, how could this change things?
Let's say you're a teacher and you want to tailor your lessons to each student, help them learn at their own pace. With open source AI like DeepSeek R1, you could make that happen.
Wow, that would have been awesome back when I was in school. I remember struggling with math, man. An AI tutor that could explain things in a way that made sense to me, that would have been life-changing.
Or imagine you run a small business. You want to get your marketing right, reach the right customers. Open source AI could help you do that without spending a fortune.
So it's not just for the big corporations anymore. It's giving everyday people and small businesses the tools to compete. That's pretty awesome.
It really levels the playing field, and it goes way beyond business and education. Think healthcare.
Okay, yeah, like what?
AI that can analyze medical images, help doctors diagnose diseases earlier, give more personalized treatment.
That could save lives. And what about art?
Think about it. Artists using AI to create totally new art forms, musicians writing music with AI collaborators, writers coming up with stories with AI partners.
The possibilities are mind-blowing. It's like this explosion of creativity. But we can't ignore the downsides, right? The job losses that could happen.
You're right, that's a valid concern. As AI gets better, it's going to automate more jobs that humans used to do, especially in manufacturing, transportation, customer service.
Yeah, it's the classic fear, robots taking our jobs. But it feels bigger this time, like the stakes are higher.
We have to adapt. We need to invest in education, in training, to prepare people for the jobs of the future, the jobs that AI can't do.
So it's not about fighting the change. It's about figuring out how to ride the wave, right?
Yeah.
Find how humans and AI can work together.
That's it. Remember, AI is a tool. We get to decide how we use it. It's up to us to make sure it benefits everyone.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into DeepSeek R1 and this whole AI thing, I want to leave you all with a few questions. How do you want to see AI used in your life?
Yeah.
What are you excited about? What worries you? And most importantly, what part do you want to play in all of this?
The future of AI is being written right now by all of us, so let's make it a good one.
That's all the time we have for today. But this AI conversation, it's not going anywhere. Keep those questions coming, and we'll keep exploring this amazing, ever-changing world of AI. Thanks for joining us.